I don't, but I have my water bottle.
Perfect. And let's toast.
Cheers.
Okay, so Artika. Okay, so our first story is from the Daily Mail.
Ooh.
These 4 social media influencers were swept up by the movement that claims obesity is perfectly healthy. The tragic truth is they have all died under the age of 45. So before we get this story, I want everyone to listen. Whatever you think our opinions are going to be, it might not be that. Because I know this is like a touchy subject, which is why I want us to talk about it. Because one thing I mentioned earlier, we speak the truth, but in grace and in love. Okay. The past decade has seen an extraordinary momentum building around a central argument that being obese doesn't have to mean unhealthy. Branded health at every size, the philosophy at its heart has goals. It aims to counter the multi-billion-dollar diet industry, which has a poor record when it comes to long-term sustainable weight loss, and act as an antidote to the stigma encountered by people struggling with weight. The idea is that rather than shame overweight people and force them to diet, they should be encouraged to embrace their bodies, find exercises they enjoy, and eat more nutritionally. But some say those philosophies have taken to the extremes, particularly on social media, by celebrating morbid obesity while ignoring its serious health dangers. The U.S. edition of Cosmopolitan was criticized for running a plus-size woman in yoga with the headline, "This is Health." A self-styled fat activist, meanwhile, not only promotes larger bodies as healthy, but rejects decades of science which prove that dangers of excess body fat, encourages devotees to ignore doctors. For obesity specialists, they say ample evidence shows obesity can promote and accelerate over 200 diseases such as diabetes, strokes, and many cancers. Higher waist girth is a major reason for many people living with multiple chronic conditions, leading to suffering and health costs. And for those who say losing weight is not necessarily to improve health, considerable evidence now shows intentional weight loss via lifestyle or drugs can help lower the risk of many chronic conditions and even reverse some, such as diabetes. Far too many people do not like how they look, and for many people, diets do not work in the long term. And repeatedly failing to lose weight can take its toll on the mental health. For some, using social media to post pictures of themselves fat, happy, and eating, what they want is to love themselves. But is it starting to crumble? The organization, Health at Every Size, in the UK has appeared to have disbanded. Okay, last part about this. So one person wrote that body positivity kept me fat and complacent and enabled me to not make good decisions. Another wrote, I feel guilty for being a part of this movement. Health is real, organs failing is real, diabetes is real, and it's not fat phobic to care about your health. Lucy Daniels, the chairman of the British Diabetes Association, says fat acceptance started off with the best intentions, but it has gone too far. Most people with excess weight would be healthier with less of it. We've been persuaded to accept that big is okay and people who are obese must learn to love themselves. But I've never met an obese person who didn't want to be more regular size. She concludes, if you're overweight, don't give up on healthy eating and healthier lifestyle choices. Yes, that will be harder than simply buying into the myth that you can be obese and healthy, but it'll be far more worthwhile health-wise. So that article, I'm going to link that article. You should read that entire article. It has 4 people who were part of the Health at Every Size movement, and they have passed away before 45. And I distinctly remember one of them because
so
she
young
had,
too.
yeah, it's like really like serious. And part of the reason why I want to talk about this is because we're at the beginning of the year, and almost everyone, yes, is making goals. And I just think sometimes we all need like a good slap in the face. So one of the girls, actually, I remember she had there was like a episode on, I want to say E, or like one of those shows where they, exploit everyone, and she created a salon for like bigger women, like not just like plus size, but like bigger women. And she said she felt ashamed. She went to a salon once to get her nails done, and she couldn't fit in the chairs, and she felt ashamed. So she decided to make a salon for people like her. And then she's one of the women that passed that they highlighted. So they have it's a really good article that I really think everyone should read. So you care if I go first talking about this?
Yeah, girl, take the stage.
So like I said, I really thought this was important. If you know anything about me, if you're new here, I have struggled with my weight my entire life. There has never been a time in my life where I was not fat. And obviously I haven't always been this fat because there's times where I've like lost weight and looked better and, you know, up and down. So this is definitely something that's like near and dear to my heart because it's something that like I know I'm not the only person who struggles with it because I'll post about it on my Instagram, and other people are struggling with it as well. So I saw this article and it really just gets you thinking. Like I know for myself, I had to like this year, I kind of alluded to it earlier. Like I had to make some changes. I went and saw like a special type of doctor that you know, one time I'll do like maybe 3 months and then I'll like kind of explain like if everything keeps working, I'll explain like all the stuff I've been going through. But I had to see like what is really going on because it was just a
Yeah.
lot. And I think that I think we said this in another episode, or maybe Isabel might have said it this episode. But there's a lot of things like everyone has an opinion on TikTok and Instagram. You
Yeah.
gotta find what works for you, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to figure out like what does your body respond to, because then if not, you're gonna end up doing a bunch of things that are like counterproductive. And I think like this year, like join me, like let's get serious about this. I know that for a long time, I like someone who grew up fat, like you're always thinking about it. That's like the inside joke. You're always thinking about it. But there are times where I kind of like try not to think about it because I just want to enjoy my life. I'm in my 20s. Like I want to be able to, you know, my friends can eat burgers and fries and it doesn't affect them. Like I want to be able to do that, but like I can't. So sometimes I would just, you know, just like get it out my mind. Like, but at some point you do have to figure out what's going on with your body. So I highly suggest anyone listening and you've like really struggled with your weight, I suggest going to get tested. Get your blood sugar, thyroid, and your hormones tested. That will show a lot of things, and then you can figure out like what's the best plan for you. Because I think that, and I like what she said. She said like it started off with the best intentions. Because let's be honest, like some people, even people like on the right, can be really mean to fat people. I mean, it was that picture of
They
that
can be mean
girl.
to the girls in general. I mean, you saw with the Taylor Swift stuff.
Exactly.
Girl.
Like people can be mean. So like I understand people wanting to like do something like to counteract it. Like I totally understand that, but like at some point you do have to like take responsibility and you have to be serious and actually do something. You have to make some changes cuz the reality of the fact is it's not fun. It's not really fun. There's nothing really cool about it. Like people are, you know, some of the girls that they showed that were on TikTok were like, this is you know, I think one of the girls like had an oxygen tank on. Like it's just it can get, yes. And
No.
she's like, "Oh,
I'm
I
like,
love
no.
being," and it's like at some point you have to kind of like,
I was about to say, at
okay,
some point, we
I
gotta, like, okay.
right, you gotta at some point you gotta be like, okay, this has gone too far. And I'll say like for something, once again, I'll share more like in a couple months. For something in my life, I was like, okay, this has gone a little too like I have veered off too far. I need to start making some changes. I will say one of the things that I started doing, I really think it makes a difference, is I got a walking pad at work, and I do. It was a whole mess at the beginning, like it was turning off our power, but anyway, somehow we figured it
Well,
out. But now I can use a walking pad, and I think it has been making a difference in at least like getting moving, like moving. So I know another thing too is like a lot of us have desk jobs where we're sitting at our desk,
yes.
like we're driving to work.
All day.
Yes, we're sitting at our desk all day, and then we get into the car to drive again, and like that really isn't good for your health. I mean, for any aspect of your health, but that's a whole nother conversation we can get into. But yeah, I just really wanted us to just. It's the new year. I think that lose weight to your goals. Do it. Like I know there's a new thing about like don't do that. Do it. Like, and if you need to, like if you need to lose weight, add it and like work on it. And like I said the other episode, if you make a mistake, pick yourself up and turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. That's what it's
Period.
all about. Isabel, what are your thoughts from another perspective? Like, I guess from the opposite perspective.
From someone that can't gain weight.
No, I mean, no, I mean,
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, no, no, no. I know what you mean. And that's crazy. Like to your point, getting your blood work. I still get my blood work. I think a lot of people have a misconception that skinny people are just like, oh my goodness, they eat so healthy. I'm here to
Right.
debunk that myth because I probably know some like heavier like women in my life who probably eat healthier than me. And so a lot of it sometimes is genetics. You can't really, you know. But I
Yeah.
will say, like in your late 20s, 30s, everybody's body changes, metabolism changes. I mean, I never had heartburn till I was like 27. And I'm like, hello, because I was like, I wasn't gaining weight, but like my body could just burn fat, but that didn't mean that was necessarily what I was eating was a healthy diet, like pizza and like fried food, like, all that stuff. So I think overall, it's just like prioritizing your health and what's going on the inside versus what we see on the outside. Because to your point, you could like it's at some point we can't be like, okay, this is the oxygen tank, this is so fun, this should be a trend, and we should like
Right.
publicize this. So I think it's just
Right.
like no matter like what your size is, prioritizing what's going on the inside, and it's obviously going to reflect on the outside. Like it really just starts from within of like any kind of like lifestyle change. You have to start with like small changes and not do something like drastic. But I definitely think with the whole like, I mean, I obviously can't relate, but like from what I see, it's like they're trying to make it like this cool thing, but at the end of the day, like we're hurting people versus telling them the truth. And I think sometimes we don't want to tell people the truth because the truth is uncomfortable, because the truth might offend them or whatever. But at the end of the day, like if you saw someone, this is even true biblically speaking, if you want to speak to someone about God or Jesus, we are here to spread truth and light and love. So it's the same thing. Like you wouldn't see a friend if you saw one of your best friends like running towards a cliff and about to jump off. Like you wouldn't be like, oh no, it's okay, I don't want to offend that person and tell them that they're gonna die. You would be like
Right.
running, like trying to save them. So I think that's just like using that same analogy to like telling your friends the truth and love and stuff like that. And obviously it could be sensitive subject because some people like like to your point, and it's not just like they are eating and exercising, it's just sometimes, like I said, genetics aren't helping as much. So it is a touchy subject, but again, if you love someone, you tell them the truth, and you know, and if they do love you back and respect you, they're gonna understand. So maybe practicing those like healthy habits.
Yeah, like I really respect. I've only, other than male, like my male friends have all been pretty honest with me, but like I've really respected. I've only had one female friend to like make a comment
Yeah.
in the vein of like, hey, like what's going on? Like
Obviously,
I've
there's a time and a
noticed.
place too.
Oh, that too. Like, you guys, if you're all out, having fun and like
It's not
you're
your
walking
time.
home, hey girl, I noticed you gained some weight. Like, what's like, that's not the time and the place. Like, use discernment. But I really respected my friend, that one friend
Yeah.
that like kind of asked me, like, hey, is everything going okay? Because here's the other thing too. Like,
Yeah.
most people,
Excuse me.
most people who gain a lot of weight, it
Yeah.
is not just because they're just eating and like sitting at home and laying down. Some of it's a
Yeah.
lot of like mental health,
Stress.
has
Yeah.
stress, mental health issues. Like it's this, like
Or
that's
alcohol
another aspect
consumption.
of it. Say that again.
Yeah, or like other substances like alcohol, or like if you're on a certain
Mm-hmm.
medicine, like there's so many factors. And I think even I'm pretty sure even doctors, like if you go to like a holistic doctor, they'll try to figure out what's going on mentally, physically, spiritually, because it all affects your diet, exercise, your sleep. Like sleep is so important. Like you really need to be getting 8 hours of sleep. And I heard the most optimal time is from like 8 p.m. to like 8 a.m. So any hours in between then, that's like the most optimal time, and that affects your like sugar levels. Your girl, don't even, because my dad has recently had health issues, and obviously my parents are getting older, and so like it's important to know like what's going on in your body, and so that you can help yourself and help others. But yeah, that's one thing about like there's so many things that can affect your weight gain or loss. Or even if you're losing weight drastically, there could be something wrong, or like gaining weight drastically. Like you just always want to, consult with your doctor and see what's going on, and seeing if you're like in the right, weight range. Again, as long as you're healthy on the inside, obviously, yes, it's going to reflect on the outside too, or at least.
Yeah, yeah. And last thing to that point, like I think you were saying like there's a lot of other factors, so you do have to go check it
Yeah,
out. Like, because I mean, I'll say like a little glimpse of like what was going on with me. Like I was doing things that I needed to do, but there was something hindering it because there was something else going on like in my body. So like I
yeah.
could work out and eat right and do X, Y, and Z. I've never been like one of those people that like pigs out like with a pizza and ice cream, just like lays around. Like I'd be doing things like if you
Like
know
that's what
me,
I'm
like
saying. People probably assume or think that.
no, literally. And like I do things. So like, and even growing up, like my mom had me playing all the sports. I sat on the
Yeah,
bench, but I was like, she
not the
had me at
bed.
the practices.
Like you
So
still
like
get the
clearly there's
physical.
something else, and I think that you just have to figure that out yourself. And I think like if
Yeah.
your friend is going through that, like being supportive of whatever method that they choose. Obviously, if it's something like
Yeah.
that will hurt them, speak up, say something. But like I think if your friend
Yeah.
deciding to go vegan and you're like that doesn't blah blah blah, if it's working for them, encourage them, like
Right.
give them
Yeah.
pat on the back, because
That's a
that's like
good
really
point.
what the like that's what it's about, like getting to the health and like figuring this out. So
I
yeah.
was gonna say something else, but I think I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, you would think I wake up and eat salads and never touch a burger, but like, honey, I eat. I love barbecue. I love all the things that I should never eating. So again, like, what is it called? It's not always what it seems on the outside. It's mainly what's going on the inside, and everyone's body's so different. And especially when you like get older, especially women. Oh my goodness, when you have if you have children, obviously. Mal and I, we have not gone through that, but like when you go and you get pregnant and all of that, childbirth and postpartum, like your body just changes so much throughout every single stage of your life. So again, just giving yourself grace and love, and even like with alcohol, like if I noticed my when I was in Dallas, I was drinking more, just socially, and I realized back in my pictures in 2019, like my body, not my body, my face was more swollen and my cheeks were more swollen, and it was because I was drinking all that alcohol and the sugar and the processed foods. And then as soon as and your teeth also play a big role, like how full your face looks. And so even those little changes, now I get why people think like, oh, that person has surgery and stuff. But sometimes just losing weight on your face can like give you a whole completely new like face shape. So,
No, literally,
anyways,
like
that's just like side note.
I can always tell when okay, I've had too much sugar this week or something, by like
Yeah,
my face just looks like
like
thick, like
poofy.
swollen. I don't know, like it looks like it can pop it almost. Like I've noticed that
Like it
in
looks
myself.
poofy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
poofy. It just looks poofy. Like I can always, and then when I'm cutting back sugar and like being more intentional with like the healthier meals, I can always
yeah.
tell because like my face just looks less
Like,
poofy, I guess. Like
yeah.
yeah.
It's like more damage.
So
Anyways,
yeah,
okay.
ladies, I'll I'll link the article for you to check out. Because I think, it's something to think about. And yeah.
Just
So our
understanding your
next
body
story. Oh,
for
go ahead.
sure. Just said understanding your body for sure. Take the
Yeah.
time to understand your body.
Yes, it's very important. That's what we're all doing this year. This year we're all understanding our own personal bodies. Our own. Don't listen to so and so tell you to drink the sand. I saw something like it was like if you drink the sand once a day, and I'm like, this can't, no.
Yeah, no,
This
this girl, she's like a content manager, some. Anyway, she works with influencers, and she was on TikTok, like basically ratting them out. She was like, I'm not gonna name names, but basically, a lot of your so-called favorite influencers, basically get brand deals that they can't turn down because of like whatever money compensation, but they don't even drink that stuff or use the stuff that they're promoting. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be careful. There's fake people in any industry, and it's no different for like influencing unfortunately. So sorry, I keep getting messages with influencing. So just again, sometimes your favorite influencer or celebrity whatever is promoting a product to like weight loss or weight gain or whatever, and they don't even use it themselves. So they have so much processed like processed foods or ingredients and stuff that they wouldn't even use on their own skin, hair, and nails, but they want you to use it on your hair, skin, and nails. So
mm,
just anyways, do your research.
yeah.